high returns, perform in 1 hour time frame, low drawdown, low profit, and preferably higher time frame better. But later I will give you guys more insight on the robot part. Now, for DGV2, right, which is here, the full name is called Double Grid V2. It's actually the updated version from Grid Mono Thread and then to DGV2 one. A lot of people asking me to put it Grid Mono Thread on because Grid Mono Thread have a very strong advantages in doing the trading. For example, okay, let's say that this is gold market. All right, gold market recently have a good opportunity. Let's say that you are aiming to sell for September. Right now we are at the month of September, and when you want to sell for gold, right, what you can do is that you can just focus to use Grid Mono Thread. All right, let me open this chart. And let's say that you know that this area is in the ranging gap. Okay, you do know that this area is a ranging, but you don't bother to like, so many ranging, I also don't know where to sell, right? Drag Grid Mono Thread V2 come in. Okay, instead of direction, you enter for sell directions, and then you click OK. After this, you adjust this zone. Okay, so what does this zone mean? What you can see here is that this is my sell zone, and I adjust this slightly, okay, to be like this. Now, purpose of this is to do slightly longer terms of swing trading. And what you can see right now is that here is where I would like to sell, right? This is the region of top that I would like to sell. And I don't know that how far that gold will go, but as long as it come in, I just keep dollar cost average all the way back. Okay, as long as your risk per trade is very, very small, as long as you doesn't hit to the stop loss, it will be always good, ma. So you just keep on absorbing the trade all the way back, and then when it hit here, then you just basically cut loss. Alright, there is a cut loss point over here, which is 2,000. As long as it go above 2,000, that means that the market will just continue to be upside already. But if you believe that gold price will continue to be downside movement, right, what will end up is that you can just let it sell, right? Let it sell. Sell with a super lot size like 0.01. Just let it sell all the way in. When it come back in, then now. Essentially with this, right, just a simple pure support resistance, sell and resistance. You don't know which place to sell, right? Let it auto sell for you. And by default, it have automatically sell 6 trade at the back. If you want to be more bigger region, also can. Let it absorb as much as possible. Now, 6 trade in between you think is too small, then increase number of trade off, which is here. Increase plus. You see the number of step. I increase to 10 trades. Meaning that within this region, I enter for 10 sell trades. Wow, it is a lot. But it's just 0.01, ma. If your account is like 10k, just let it sell all the way back. And it's like systematic sell one, not like emotional, I sell here more, sell here more. No, systematic sell one by one all the way to the back. And you want to increase the lot size also can. Right now it's 0.01, ma. Now I increase to be 0.03 per single trade with a lot multiplier of 1.1, meaning that increasing 10% of the lot size whenever that it goes slightly backwards. By doing this, it helps to actually enter the trade better. And at the same time, what you guys can do is that let's say that you're using any indicator like RSI, right? When RSI reach to 70, you want to sell, can use DGV2. But let's say that when you reach to 70, you want to sell at resistance, then you just prepare this to sell always at resistance. So this is where the Grid Mono Thread GMT V2 is doing. But we are not using it right now. We are focusing on Double Grid V2. At Double Grid V2, the concept is pretty straightforward. Let just me use the default setting. Okay. Now, in default settings, how the robot will do the trade is like this. it just using a basement of RSI 14. Okay. As long as it reach the top, it sell immediately. As long as it reach the bottom, it buy immediately. Alright. So it's concept of buy low, sell high. So I speed up the candlestick. And the concept is like this. When it reach to here for the first time, it will make a buy first. It doesn't care. Like robot will wait it to cross down, cross out, all this kind of thing, right? No. For this part, as long as it has reached here, it immediately buy, come down again, buy again, then it will find a place to be net take profit. Default, net take profit of 100 point, it will immediately take profit. Sell side is the same. Okay. And then here, it reached to another 17. As long as it touches, go up, take. Touches again, then take a second time. It's like as soon as it touches, immediate effect. So it's like you see, the price movement changes, the RSI also changes. This is focusing on the very, very short-term trading, whereby it only buy and sell on expecting the price, those kind of noise movement. Up, then will have a high chance that come down. Extremely short-term, ignoring anything around like fundamental seasonal thing. Which seasonal thing you should add in to increase the lot size for buy side and sell side. But for now, just understanding that touches, enter. Touches. Okay. So in DGV2, there is a guidance as well. This will be a next level entry. It will not simply enter the trade because of the gap distance. Alright. So what you can see is that the gap is like about 600 point distance, and it will wait until the price reach to here, only it will enter the trade again, which is close already. Okay, now this is exactly how the DGV2 enter the trade. Okay, downside will have buy re-entry, upside will have sell side re-entry. Okay, now over here again, moving forward is about DGV2 entry have been done. Next, about the lot size, and a lot of the robot here is handling on risk management. For example, when you enter the trades, what are the lot size that you should enter? By default, what you guys can see from here is okay. Let me pause. Essentially, this panel gives a lot of information. When you guys want me to do troubleshooting, right, I always need to have this as a reference. So from here, you can see the magic number is about this. And when you trade, it will ask you want to use buy or you want to use or sell. By default, I use buy and sell. Lot size are likely to be same. So it will buy with 0.01 lot at a multiple of 1.1. Meaning that every new trade that is going to open, the lot size increases by 10%. Here also the same. Partial close, 100%, meaning that it don't do any partial close. For this one, you can ignore. Okay, this one ignore. Now, when you are in live, this one, the RSI I've been showing you, this is showing you the real RSI value based on the current candlestick. So that you can know that, hey, why is not enter the trades? Then the question is, answer is from here. Is it meeting the condition or not? The condition by default is 70-30. Buy at 30, sell at 70. And then the ATR volatility is 400. That means that the grid step, one step is 171. Buy side is going to be 682. Sell side will be 682 as well. Meaning that from one cell to the next cell, the distance is minimum by 682 points. Okay, this one is automatic calculate using ATR. And then take profit is 100 points. Sell take profit is another 100 points. Stop loss by default don't have any stop loss because we are using a prop firm group stop loss. That would be better. Then we also have an abnormal market filter whereby this part you can set it to be true, and then as long as the candlestick size larger than a certain number, it will stop trading and will not open the trade anymore. And then you have a buy side and sell side. Last entry, this is just for troubleshooting for me only. Then broker, blah blah blah. All right. Now, one of the interesting part about DGV2 that I saw recently, one of the students using, right, is that they turn off the ATR, right? They turn off the ATR. Their capital is using a cent account, right, which is a 10K cent account. But after they turn off this thing, right, the grid set for buy will turns out to be here, meaning that for the buy side of the grid, it will be using 100 point and increasing 100 point every single distance. And sell side will be the same, right? 100 point, 100 point. Then here, theme, take profit of 100 point. Then lot size of 0.01. And the next thing that he do, which is interests me a lot, which is like the abnormal market filter, which is here. Now, the abnormal market filter is that as long as the candlestick size larger than this, it stops to do the tradings. So it's set to be 1, right? 1 over the last 100 candlestick. As long as the candlestick is already like moving aggressively, then don't enter the trades. So how does it look like? Is that it will look like this. So what you can see here is that as long as there's a line pop out like this means that don't entry. Okay, no entry. And the good part about this is that because using 1, and then will end up that the entire RSI is hardly to be triggered to be having entry. Because you know that market crash is because of big volatility. So the interesting part is here. When it enter the trades, okay, it's although that it will aggressively enter again, it will only enter when the market is started to have pullback. And when market started to have pullback, right, basically that is also mean that the candlestick is started to be slowing down, moving smaller, right? Same thing to here, same thing to here, right? And same thing, buy immediately when market has been slowed down, sell and buy also market slow down. So this by using the ATR of 1, right, it automatically only enter the trade when the market is having slowdown or pullback. So if market keep on against us, it will not simply enter the trade as well. Okay. So you can end up to see the market move like this, all right. It only enter the trade when it's like a good opportunity. Buy side. Okay, just there will be a lot of opportunity like here. If market just slowly candlestick goes down, right, it also means that a good opportunity to push down. So just sell all the way up, come down. So this is a return of it. Now, then you have to see the drawdown side. Okay, the drawdown and the take profit is not so tally one. But then that is the purpose of this. It's just that absorb a bigger amount of drawdown, but end up just make sure that long-term wise is consistent. Okay, that is the differences between long-term of the kind of UP and then versus a short-term strategy like this one. This is an extremely short-term kind of strategy. Now, I'm going to demonstrate to you that what if that I'm not using any abnormal filter, how will it turns out to be? Because I have a lot of abnormal filter, right? It like sort of like automatically filter a lot of good opportunity. I mean, a lot of false signal and also good opportunity at the same time. So let's speed it up. You can see that if it simply open a trade, it can even get more return one. Right? At the same time, your drawdown also increases. Just now our drawdown is about 280 with a profit of 70 something. But then if you open up, as long as it goes out, I will just enable to open the trade as much as possible. So you see, you have a long period of sell trades and then long period of buy trades. In the ranging, it will be performing very, very well. Then go back again. Okay. So this is DGV2. And you can see almost the green color bar is to let you know where it buy. Yellow color is to tell where it sell before. You can see almost all the entry is very, very good one. All the entry for sell is very good. So what you can do further, you can increase the take profit. 100 point maybe too less. You can increase to like 200, 300. then what you can do is that instead of adjusting one by one, why don't I just make a tick and then increase the take profit automatically? So we set this optimization and then we do it a quick optimization and see that how far that we increase our take profit. Now, also at the same time, I would like to demonstrate one thing to you guys, which is what if that I would like to having the take profit. Okay, so this has been done, and what you can see here is that from here, okay, all is profiting. Then this one have the take profit of 250, and 250 is the best. So we just take this 250 and see how was the result. Pretty good, right? $500 to make $500 profits in a period of 5 months time. Now, if you want to extend this to be 1 year, all right, see how it turns out to be. I would say that the changing factors to be from losing to be profit, right, is either that increase the risk or you play too conservative. Conservative will be what we call this as abnormal market filter lor. So you see, it's almost zero drawdown one. Okay, this is one of it. Like you see, $700+ of floating losses to earn about 1,600 over 1.5 years. Is it a good thing to do or not? With a 72% win rate. Okay, this is under a super aggressive type of entry. And in a real life, how will it turns out to be is something like this. You're going to end up a consecutive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 12 days of drawdown until it break even. Another 12 days again to break even for sell trades. And then this kind of drawdown super duper easy to happen. But then because you are using 0.01 lot, if you are using a profit account of 10K, it's like nothing, right? If you are using a cent account, this kind of drawdown is also nothing to you as well, right? Nothing to you. Okay, so this is false data. So you see, sell from here, from January 9 to here. 1 month time, floating losses continuously for 1 month, goes up by how much point? 4,000 point. It is still going up. Can you accept that or not? If you can, then you can get the profit lor. If you cannot, then your account burst lah. Alright. So like this is a method to absorb the drawdown under a suitable risk. And with that said, you have one setting over here What you can do? Extend further lor. Right. If Euro USD working well, you repeat the same setup in GBP USD. While it's running, right, I'm coming up to my second terminal here, and I go and do the same thing. Now, what I'm doing is that I would like to show you guys why I'm not using any stop loss. And if I'm using stop loss, how it will turn out to be. So this is my grid set sell. And my take profit is 100 point again. Okay, this 80 I turned to false. And this time I don't use any abnormal market filter, meaning that even market spike, even there is a news, I don't care. I enter every single thing. Alright. This really don't care anything, just enter. Okay, then how it turns out to be. Okay, I run it for a default first. Okay, for like 5 months. Okay, come back to GBP USD. At GBP USD, you see, in a whole year, you have a maximum drawdown of $2,000, and you will be in a situation of profiting net profit of 2,000. And let's open out the charts. You see, where is a place that have big drawdown? Likely to be here, lor. 2022 September. Then you can look into that, what is happening on that time. I believe it's the time that inflations and interest rate, all these things affecting that a lot, like you see. Straight away jump water one. Okay. Here is a good example that what this robot is doing compared to others. Now this robot at first is 100 point ma. It like open very, very close to each other whenever it's like down, it just entered. As long as down 100 point, it just entered. Down 100 point, it just entered. Don't care anything one. But the more lower it goes, the bigger the gap. Why it can do this way, right? And why it is doing this way? It is because the robot have a mechanism behind whereby when the market is in against a lot, alright, I'm setting out a grid step multiplier, meaning that the distance is getting smaller and getting bigger and bigger. It's not 100 points, it's 100 points and 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. Keep on increasing the 10% until the end. That will make up to be such a big this kind of recovery. Now, what we're gonna do right now is that here we would like to edit every single thing. Okay, same thing, we'll copy it into our Excel. This Excel also we do the same portfolio combinations. Okay, we have two portfolio right now. Okay, this is not setting anymore, this is like market. Okay, this is GBP USD in H1, for example. Okay, this is GBP USD for H1. Then what we will be doing next is that we will go for Euro USD back again. Now remember, this is a date that it have big drawdown. And then we're going to see that in Euro USD, you're likely to have a same drawdown again as well. Because these two market is sort of like the same, just that the scale of drawdown is slightly different. 2022 September. 2022 September. Yep, you see there's a drawdown here. Okay, coming back to here. This is a stop loss pass. Now, at the stop loss here, initially without stop loss, this is your result. Okay, without stop loss, this is your default result. Then what will happen is that if I add a stop loss, let's say that I add a super huge stop loss, even like a 1,000 point stop loss for Euro USD. Okay, and then let it run. Now the results start to be very, very choppy because you start to have constraint of it and your profit side is not able to cover the losses. Hence, it will end up in this kind of situations. Okay, and it's much choppy. If I turn off the short loss, it becomes 0. I use a profit losses. Let's say that my drawdown that I can only accept is only 1%, which is like $100. Okay, then I'll redo this thing. Now, when you have kind of profit losses, right, it is hardly able to recover one. So that's why a comparison, if there's any constraint, usually the constraint is the lagging factor, right? Lag your entire result. Now this is Euro USD. And we go back to the same period, like September. When market have a big drop. Okay, I copy out the result first. I want to see the drop, how it dropped. Okay, then I run on the visual mode. The reason why it will end up to be this kind of market, right, is because likely that when printing the candlestick, it come out to be don't know what is happening. So the Euro USD H1. Okay, now what we can do right now is that we can do the same thing, just add up all the net profit, then you will see that how would the result turns out to be on a combined basic. So I right now do the same thing, right? Filter profit that is all zero, then I just remove it. Where is the zero? Here. Okay, I remove the zero. Okay, then this will be the profit combination, right? Then over here, I also adjust the formatting a bit. Find dot. Okay, find a full stop, replace with a black slash. So just replace everything so that this will become a date format. On a date format, you sort it according to newer, sorry, should be oldest to newest, right? And then you can start to sum up all the profit. So it's like using the same formula equal sum bracket this until this close bracket. Okay, then this the first one click F4. That will become 1.6. Then you just sum up all the thing, then this will be on profit consecutively. Okay. Now just double click all the way to the end. Then this is your net profit over the time. Of course, there will be a certain time that draw down. So what you can see is that net balance. This is your time and this is the net balance. Time for insert, look for the graph. Okay, this is just having two market combine. Okay, this is just having two market combine. And if I want to go in deeper, right, which is go back to my MT4. Okay, specifically, I know that in September, that month, right, have a biggest volatility, which is this month, right? 2022 September. So I want to go back to 2022 September and 7/23. How does Euro how does Euro USD handle that? Here, how many of the drawdown here? Not much, right? It just have about 2,000 point of drawdown. Compared to GBP USD, it have even deeper, 8,000 point of drawdown. So in a way that GBP USD, okay, GBP USD over here, right? Okay, GBP USD 1 day, 2 day is still in drawdown, but Euro USD also in drawdown as well. Okay, just that Euro USD wise of drawdown is lesser. Alright, is lesser, and then only will have more drawdown on the next day. So in a way that definitely your account at one point this white will be extremely high risk, but quickly after a few days later it just recovered. And when you combine together, this is the result. Okay, which is I believe pretty good, right? And at the same time, this is just two market. Now you may add on a little bit more risk as well. Let's say that you would like to combine it with gold. So you do it for gold market. Now I want to see the graph as well. Now when it's running right in the reality, in the real life market, you can see that today profit is like keep jumping up and down. This is like your net account balance. Now for gold, this is a bit tricky because gold market itself have a issue of overly big volatility. Alright. So the gold market returns of it may not be accurate as compared to the one that you're seeing right now. Okay. And the backtest result usually we give a 20% discount compared to the real market. This is some of the note that you guys should take notes. Result give 20% discount or deduction for real market forecast. Okay, and then at the same time, do take note of each and every single trade. What is a max? Take note on each market, the date and time for max drawdown. Because the time of max drawdown, right, you have to see that if there is any alignment or not. And the only way to see that if there's any alignment is by using the Excel log. So that's why that we had to put it the combined result into Excel. And I see this is a big drawdown again happening, which is you're going to see 2023. This is the time that have huge drawdown. March. Okay, March selling a lot. So we go to March of 2023, March I will see if Euro USD will have drawdown or not. March 21. Yes, Euro USD also have drawdown. Your account may be suffer a lot of drawdown over here. And GBP USD wise, March 21. Okay, March 21 here. Now you see over here, Euro USD in drawdown in March 21. Okay, Euro USD drawdown a lot. And then GBP USD, yes, they do have a drawdown, but it's already been closed, right? You have settled here. But then for gold market wise, it is like keep on coming down from 10 all the way down. So your risk on gold will be much higher. As what you can see, the risk is about 8,000 over earning about 5,000. So gold market definitely okay, just that the risk is too huge. So what you can do is that skip law, no need to go for GBP USD. You can try other market like GBP JPY. Okay, let's give it a try. Now, while it is running right, I also would like to add on one more metrics, which is now by default the RSI shift is 0. Okay, meaning that if I enter the trade immediately when the RSI is entered at 70.30 at the current candlestick. Now this is a good idea for real life market, but for backtest, it is really a bad idea, whereby it cannot enter the trades accurately compared to real life market. In the real life market, it may be a situation of two cases. A very simple problem, but it will lead to a lot of calculation errors. For example, in a single candlestick like this one, okay, and at this level, right, it's just nice that it's between RSI of 30, meaning that it may come to 30 or it may go up from 30 as well. Question is, there are two cases because the price of candlestick is like up and down. So the question is that, does it come down first then goes up, or number two, it is always at the top then come down like this, then end here? Like MT4 don't know that both of this indicator, both of this price movement is representing the same candlestick, but then this candlestick may come down a lot, then goes back a lot, then go back end here. Then you can make profit here. But this kind of candlestick movement is like come down, touch to 30, then pull back, then range already here. So the MT4 don't know that which will be the right movement for single candlestick. That's why over here I'm using 1 as a replacement, meaning that instead of using RSI of 0, meaning that I will wait for one candlestick, confirm first, only will enter the trades. So let's see how was the real life. Now this is GVJPY, and GVJPY you do know that is like extremely high risk as well. Another drawdown periods. Okay, same, right? Same months of drawdown period. I sure lah, this is like news. Every market have this kind of big move. Is definitely a news already. Okay, so when the news come in, then you have to prepare lor. Your account may be in a big suffer. Okay, but then think of this way. Right now, I am doing on an account of 100,000 actually. Okay, 100,000. What does that mean? That means that if you can get into the prop firm, you can pass for a prop firm. You can just use this method, these settings, just trade it lah. Because when you are fail, you may fail on one day. Yes, definitely, right? You may not sustain for over a year. But then even half of it, like let's say just take until here only. Okay, also 1 month. Okay, 1 month passed already. So when I pass, you can get $200 for free from prop firm. And this is just one account. You have 3 leh, so it's like $1,000 kan. So you can get $1,000 from prop firm and still can get your deposit back, and you got nothing to lose. But for GBP JPY, the risk is too big. So 100 point of grid stack cannot lah. So you go to, maybe you go to 200 lah. Alright, we reduce out the risk and see that how it turns out to be. Because currently, I just see the reports. You're having a drawdown about 1,000 to earn about 2,000. It's actually pretty good. Just that right now, this thing that you see here, right, probably have already end up to be 1,000 point of drawdown. See, from here to here is about 10,000 point of drawdown way. Too huge. So what we do is that we will increase the RSI as well, RSI shift from 0 to 1. Then you click start. Okay, so from here we wait for same thing again. And you start to see that same drawdown again. Okay, this period on the March losing money as well. But the good part is that it catch all the way down just as long as put it back. Forgot to mention, you also should know that the lot size is also in multiplier, meaning that it will actually multiply your lot size when it go higher. So the size that you see here, this is a green bar here. This green bar here actually representing your lot size, right? You can see that your highest lot size that ever open is 0.04. But using 0.04 at a 100K account is like nothing to do, nothing to lose. Okay, and you see that this is like the drawdown period. So we see that what is the drawdown period looks like. March law, right? After drawdown here, then drawdown here. And even on the uptrend, there's an opportunity to cover a bit, like just a bit riskier. So on GBP USD, definitely, GBP JPY, definitely I would suggest to increase the gap. But the gap also does not reduce on the drawdown. Not reduce too much lah. Just reduce on profit side. Okay, so this is something that you should do on optimizer to slightly adjust. Same thing on September. Okay, here. It have a consecutive coming downwards a lot. Alright. Still, it can catch a good amount of profit. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to match this as well. I remove the filter first. And this is GBP, JPY, H1. Okay, and I go back up and I do a bit more filter again. Right now, same thing. I remove out 0 from the list. Actually, no need to remove lah. What you will know is that here we have 3 type, right? Buy, close and stop, modified. And buy, modified, sell. These 3 are not for profit one. Only take profit, close, and then close and stop. This is like the real one they're gonna have profit lor. So yeah, by click type here, these 3, and you can get all this. And then you will just sort according to new forgot to change this. Replace it. Right, replace the date time. And then sort it again. Oldest to newest, oldest to newest. Then the formula is like this one. Right, remain the same. It just drag all the way down lor. Wait, till here, I delete everything first. I just drag it down. Double click, come down. And then you see your net balance. In how long? Okay, so this is like end of May, so it's like 1.5 year. 3 market only, all right? And 3 market only, assume that you go for prop firm, all right? And in the prop firm, you may end up to be taking 100K account. 100K account is have a cost of $500, correct? And at $500, what you will be doing is that you will go for exam. Let's say that one pass, one fail. So that in order for you to get 100K, you will spend $500 on $1,000. Okay, and in this assumption, okay, it means that you have spent $1,000 to get this right. Then once you have passed account, okay, as long as you can make a profit of 2%, okay, minimum profit, you will get back your $500 by default. Now, and after that, at the same time, 2% of 100K is plus another $2,000. That means total of $2,500. Okay, that means that your spending versus this thing is your 1,000, your ROI 250%. That means that by just using DGV2, right? All right, your ROI is about 250%. And that is provided at just 3 market. And 3 market earning about, I mean, this is 2%, but the actual reality is that 1 year is earning how much? One year later, 3,000 plus, right? It's about 3%, right? About 4%. Okay, so about like this, one market itself is earning about 1,000, correct? A single market is earning about $1,000. So a $1,000 is per market. So if you can have multiple markets, then you just multiply by that market itself. And when you're spending, you have additional $500 back. And your cost is about $1,000 per single market, then per single profit of 100K. Hence, okay, let's just say that you have 3 market. 3 times this, about 500. 500 plus 3,000 divided by 1,000. So the ROI is 3,500, 350, 350 divided by 1,000 is about 350% ROI. In a year, how much is in a month? 29.1% ROI per month by just having 3 markets. Isn't if the trade is already running and is going against us, can we make changes halfway or we have to follow through until we profit? Just follow through until you burst account. I mean, you got nothing to do and you can't do anything as well. Alright? You make any changes, you also don't know that if your changes is right or not. So the easiest and the simplest way is that just hold it until you burst account. Right? Right now we have been discussed that about problem here, right? And what we have been saw that there will be another problem that we have been testing right now. Right now, MFF can take up to 12% drawdown, right? And daily 5% only. Now this is not something good to have this kind of planning. But then what if that we are finding a problem that can actually give us about 28% overall drawdown, and that is the overall. There is no such thing as daily drawdown whatsoever. This problem we are looking at it and we are still not so comfortable if they are rigid or not. When it's rigid, I will let you guys know. But then we see by this having this kind of planning, right, is very, very not that hard to get around this kind of ROI. And you want to add more, definitely there will be a chance that you maybe spend more money. Let's say that you go for 7 market, and 7 market you can get 7,000 here. Okay, but then you may burst account as well. Let's say that gold market suddenly drop by 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 points. And when gold drop, all of the market drop all together. Hence, margin call. Margin call means you have failed the profit, so you have to pass again. Then you calculate again if it is still logical to trade or not. So here is like 7,005. Okay, 7,000 pi. Now, when you go another account, you'll be add back another refund. So this is a total of 8,000 divided by 2,000 at the bottom. So your ROI is still about 400% ROI. That means by doing this, you can much easier to accumulate your result like this. It's lesser profit, but it's slowly accumulate over the time. So far, is there any questions? Okay. Over here, I also would like to emphasize just now the RSI setting that I changed. Shift 1, the reason I'm using Shift 1 is because that I would like to make sure backtest and optimizations backtest align with live result. Now, if you are not using any Shift 1, right, the case that Shift 0 result may too good to be true, but in real life does not happen. This is what we have done in the R&D, and what we found is that if the market up, down, right, it's like suppose in the real life, it just down and up for one time only. But in the backtest, it may be up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, which is generating a lot of not logical profit from there. Okay. And this is my portfolio of DGV2. Can increase RSI from 70 to 75. Yes, you can. Okay, this is what we have done in 1 hour. But you guys can do it in 5 minutes as well. You guys can do it in 15 minutes. Any time you can do. Right? Just see that which one will be the right combination. The reason why I'm using H1 is because fast. Alright, fast. Or else I'm going to wait for entire lunchtime to finish. So the time frame wise, I've been mentioned already. H1 generally reduce in lower drawdown, but you can make profit easier. You go for higher time frame, it's even better one because you can increase the lot size because the trade is lesser. You increase the lot size from there. So right now we'll try on gold. On gold itself, okay, we change this to 75, 35. Alright. Same thing we use shift 1. The reason we use shift 1 is because later the result will be much more aligned with the real life. And let it finish first. Now, one thing that you need to know, when you do portfolio, remember to change the spread based on highest mark, highest spread possible in your broker. Just now I did not change it, okay, just for sake of simplicity. Lower setting should be 35. Should be 25, not 35. Thanks for reminder. And we just run like this. Okay. When you untick the vision mode, right, it can run much faster. And now, for 75, 25, right, you want to run it in all market also can run. Okay. So in a way that it's like kind of like reducing the risk amount altogether. I will draw down again in May. So you see back at June. I need to run like this. Okay. So what you can see, then during this period of time, okay, this period of time, yes, it is still like coming down, draw down, but then it's much better that it don't enter the trade over here because maybe the RC does not touch us here. This is like same thing, right? The bit that is going to lose money. Okay, so in reality it's also like this. So it's correct, lor. So you have much lesser the kind of super huge drag, draw down, draw down, draw down. It's just that enter the trade at super extreme move, then only you'll take profit there. Okay, like it's an extreme setup. This is one of the way, alright? You can just make it to be even extreme only you enter the trade. Now, when you have entered it to be even extreme line, now one thing that I haven't been changing is that you can be changing the take profit as well. Because gold market why can just take 250? Why don't I take until 600, right? So for each market can redo the take profit or lot size or grid size, grid step lah. Okay, by doing all this, then you can cater or deal different risks on each market as well. One more thing that you can add in into the setup is that use seasonal, okay, to adjust on the lot size. Now, for answer to Lindy question earlier, halfway through if it's against you, you should not adjust anything lah. But then, if there's no trade opening, right, then you should refer to seasonal on a monthly basic, right? On a monthly basic, change what will be the right lot size adjustment for buy side and sell side. Okay. Remember to turn off align. Turn off lot size align. What does lot size align means? That here you can see that the lot size for sell and lot size for buy, suppose is separated for you guys. And then you guys can also see that the lot size is let it force buy equal to sell, which for your side, you want to set to be different risk for buy and sell. So that's why over here you can make some changes. Okay. Okay, here I need about 6 minutes to complete everything. And the next few things that I would like to add on is that can adjust the RSI independently or share among all market. Now you adjust the RSI threshold is to, okay, there are two things. One thing is that adjust on threshold, another thing is adjust on the period. This one is to slightly reduce the risk. Now just slightly reduce. Personally, for this case, if you just join for problem, I will suggest that why don't I just increase the risk? Because you can get more profit in a short period of time. When you can withdraw the money, the rest is free money, free cash flow, right? So just continue from there. Now, from here also, there will be two things. Threshold is the 70-30 thing, all right? Period is whereby you can adjust from 7, 14, 21, and then 25, 30. Now, what does all this number mean? For example, let's say that I've been shown this thing in the workshop before, whereby RSI, there are two ways of making changes. Number one is that you are making adjustment based on the period 14, 20, this one should be, this one should be 7. Okay, as what you can see, this is 7, 14, and 21. As you can see, most of the time, the behavior is roughly the same. Okay, if there is spike entry, then there will be spike entry here and there's spike entry here. Just that the shorter the period, okay, the shorter the period, the spike will be even more aggressive. There will be more entry possibility. If it's for higher time frame or higher period, like this one is for RSI of 21. At 21, it will be like gonna eat inside, right? Eat inside. So adjusting the period itself, okay, would be the same effect or similar effect as in like adjusting the period. For me, I usually adjusting the period, okay, as in like you adjust one thing, both of things will auto be adjust. But also at the same time, if you think that adjusting the high and low is much easier for you to understand, then you can just adjusting the 70-30, right? And just as long as you make sure that both sides is the same, right? Both can be used. Okay, so this not yet been done. You can see it's about 3,000 plus. Okay, so you see the drawdown is like having a sudden jump. Okay, now you look into this. Now, how to read these are pretty straightforward. This is all the take profit value, correct? This is the max drawdown from, is it max drawdown? Yep, max drawdown on Tesla value. Max drawdown from initial balance. Okay, now among all this, right, in past 1 to 11, question to you guys, type into the chat box, which will be the right setting to pick? Okay, type in the chat box, which path that you think will be the right setting to take? Anyone? Okay, like this. Now, if you talk about risk reward, this is your reward and this is your risk. In terms of risk reward side, now this is a maximum drawdown in dollar. Put it into a simple calculation. Okay. Now this is profit. So you take profit divide by drawdown, then you should get this number. In a way, right, we will take the one that have a most positive, right? So the answer is number 9, because number 9 have the greatest profit while the drawdown is also lesser. And look into the take profit wise. Take profit is 500 points for gold. So definitely the answer will be more suitable to do gold at this data. Right? So the answer is actually this one. Now the good part about profit is that the profit can use it to cover floating losses, right? 2000. Okay, you can just need to double check your optimization results here versus the result that you get here, report here, need to be 100% the same. Okay, 100% the same. So here I add on this info to the notebook as well. Optimizations. Pick the setting that have highest balance over on tester drawdown. Okay, on tester drawdown, aka drawdown from initial balance. Now, one of the quick tips is look into profit factor. Okay, profit factor is also a measurement of profit over the drawdown. So alternatively, take profit factor. That one will be profit. Okay, alternative lah. So far, is there any question that you guys would like to ask to clarify? Okay, later we'll talk about problem stuff, but for now, I just teaching you guys that independently, just using DGV2, right? You are full-fledged using this on free fly, all right? Free fly, you don't care anything about drawdown or whatsoever thing, right? All you care is about what will be the returns and how consistent it can be, okay? And you can apply this in a Send account, into a real life account, and then use multiple market to hedge up each other. Now, in the real life market, the result will be much better one, because in the real life market, even though the result will be, I said that will be a 20% discount, right? But then you have to know that in the real life have news filter, all right? Whereby news filter will avoid big candlestick due to news, right? We call it false signal, that due to news one. Or certain time when the real market, right, may move less chaotic compared to backtest. In backtest, let's say that you can get $1,000 profit. You give a deduction. In real life, may just get $800 profit, because this thing is the main one, and then this is the second thing, right? It may move lesser, like up and down. In the backtest, it may up down multiple times, right? In the real life, maybe just up down for one time only. Okay. In the real life, you may use shift 0, okay, which is in, okay, here I just append here. In real life, may use shift 0 to get higher ROI. We have been tested about this and been confirmed that shift 0 is indeed more profitable compared to shift 1. Just that in backtest, we have to make sure that the result is much more accurate. That's why we have to use shift 1. And in fact, shift 1 will have better entry if using lower time frame. such as M5. And this one is example for 1 hour. Alright. If it's like 1 hour, you've put it to shift 0, technically will be much better one. Some people will say that can it go to 80-20? Also can. Alright. It's really up to you lah. Okay, so before we wrap up everything, is there any question that you guys would like to ask? Basically, the concept is very simple. As long as you have passed the profit account, you get a 100K account. At 100K level day, you just set up the DGV2 across multiple markets, all right? And then just let it trade and just let it hedge each other. And by using this method, right, even though you may against the trend, but doesn't matter because you may adjust the lot size based on seasonality, right? This one, quite important. And remember to withdraw the profit whenever possible. Now this one is a super important thing because a lot of time people when they're using this strategy, right, they don't withdraw one. Right? Need to make sure that you do withdraw, and when you withdraw, is also making sure that, how do I put this way? When you make a withdrawal of the profit, right? Just keep it, all right? Just keep it first because you may need to use it anytime to refund back the second account. Let's say that market so chaotic, suddenly fell the profit account, you have to pass again, then you have to use some funding back, all right? Keep the profit in bank first, as any time may required to fund for firm account again. Okay, this is something to take notes. Okay, so with this said, I will wrap up for the day since there is no question in the chat box. Today's we learned about UP, right, which is a slow and steady type. Don't do anything, wait for very, very long until there's opportunity, only tap, enter. And when it enter, it is indeed able to enter at even higher lot size if you are playing very safe on SNR4. And the purpose of UP also the same thing. You can just use UP, trade on multiple market. By UP itself, you can also handle the entry, exit, and also the risk management, including the daily drawdown, everything. So this robot is pretty much suitable if you want to just trade lesser, be playing consistency. For DGV2 part, this is slightly different, right? It is not so suitable on using on account, but if you're using for send account up to 100K account, right? Itself, it can generate quite a consistent result over the time and let it to be backtest trade over a long period of just let it grid all the way. As long as opportunity, just let it grid, and then over there you will just let it grid and let it to recover by itself. As long as the market will pull back, it will be good. All right. Depend on market volatility. Okay. Off ATR with what else I want? Okay, I think that's all for now. And since there's no questions, then we will end up for a lunch break. And lunch break will come back at same 2 p.m. of the day. All right. So we're going to see you guys in 2 p.m. And after that, we are going to talk about, now this one is about live problem, right? Then next thing we'll talk about how to actually use this to pass the problems and what will be the setting that required to be as aggressive as possible to actually pass it. So with that said, I'm going to see you guys in 2 p.m. Bye for now.